One of the greatest collision hazards, especially on expressways and highways, is the dangerous practice of tailgating or following the car in front of yours too closely. Serious rear-end collisions can result from tailing a car too close at high speeds. If the automobile ahead on the road has to make a sudden stop, several cars may pile up if they're driving too close behind each other. Your safe following distance is easy to calculate. Look at your speedometer. Your following distance should be 20 feet or a little more than one car length for each 10 miles per hour of the speed with which you are traveling. Should another driver tail your car too closely, pull over to the right and allow him to pass. Bumper-to-bumper driving is dangerous. Always stay far enough behind the car you follow. That is insurance against collision. When you're driving your car and you hear the sound of a siren, be it from a police car or motorcycle, a fire engine, ambulance, or any other emergency vehicle, you must move at once as close as possible to the right side street curb or road shoulder and stop your car completely, regardless of whether you're going in the same or opposite direction of the emergency vehicle. Be sure you're not obstructing any intersection or side street. Then wait until the car with the siren has gone past before resuming your driving. Always yield to emergency vehicles sounding their sirens or other signaling devices. These cars have the right-of-way at all times. Yielding the right-of-way may save your bank account, as well as your life. Who is riding in this car? We may not know his first name, but we know his second name is obviously Litterbug. Throughout our nation, there are countless spots of great scenic beauty. But in all too many of them, the Litterbug has driven through, leaving his unmistakable and disgraceful mark. Not only does he mar our roads and our nation by his inconsiderate and irresponsible littering, but by throwing things out the car window, he may cause serious accidents. Never throw empty containers, paper, or rubbish from a traveling car. Instead, carry a paper bag for such refuse and dispose of it later. Cleaning up wanton littering uses up taxpayers' money. Don't be a litterbug. There are many kinds of signs and markers along the highway. Some of these are self-evident in their meanings. Others are indispensable guides to the driver. These are the traffic signs. Traffic signs fulfill three main purposes: as route guides, as warnings of hazards ahead, and to show traffic regulations. Regardless of their legends, the shapes of the signs give vital information. A diamond warns of a hazard ahead. A circle means railroad crossing. A diagonal shape means stop. A triangle means yield right of way. A rectangular sign gives information or traffic regulations. Learn to recognize and interpret traffic signs by their shape. It is the duty of every driver to slow to a safe speed and to be extra careful when driving through a school zone where children are apt to be crossing the street. All school zones are plainly marked by standard traffic signs. In many cases, adult crossing guards or school safety patrols recruited from the pupils themselves are posted at street crossings when the children are entering or leaving school. The motorist must obey the direction of these guards at all times. Children do not always watch for approaching cars and may run out into the street unexpectedly. It's up to the driver to be especially careful in school or playground zones. Even slow speed is reckless if it is too fast for the situation. The road curve can be a dangerous driving hazard if the driver does not keep complete control of his car. The sharper the curve and the faster your speed, the greater is the centrifugal force which tends to push your car off its course. Always enter a curve at a speed that does not make you fight the wheel. When rounding a curve, drive as far right as possible and stay in your own lane. It is good driving to slow down before entering a curve, not while in it. Then pull around the curve with slight acceleration. This makes your driving smoother and steadier. Slowing down before a curve is also wise because you often have a short forward sight distance, and traffic hazards ahead may be hidden from view. Never overtake in a curve and observe posted speed limits. When driving with children in your car, make sure they all know the correct safe way to behave as a passenger. It's dangerous to let a child kneel on the car seat. In the event you have to make a sudden stop, the child may be thrown to the floor or forward and be injured. If your car is equipped with a safety belt, which is easily obtainable, have the child use it. It will prevent worry on the part of the driver. Small children should sit in special seats with straps or belts to hold them, and no child should be allowed to stand up in front of the dashboard. If you must stop suddenly, the child can be hurt badly. Be sure all the doors are locked and that the children are told not to play with the handles. Make your trip a pleasure rather than a hassle. A left turn must be made with great care, always observing the right-of-way rules. Check the traffic to your left and rear and give your left turn signal well in advance. Then reduce speed and move to the lane closest to the left, permitted to vehicles going in your direction on the street you wish to leave. When it is safe, make your left turn just as your front wheels reach the pedestrian cross line. Steer your car into the lane immediately to the right of the center line on the street you are entering. Never turn left from a right-hand lane, and never turn wide into a lane further to the right than is allowed. These are the general rules for left turns. Some intersections may be marked to permit left turns from more than one lane into more than one lane. In such cases, you may turn left as directed. Driving over a hill crest requires extra caution because you cannot see what traffic conditions prevail over the hill. Just beyond the top, you may encounter a slow-moving vehicle, such as a tractor, or there may be a car stalled on the road or other hazards to the driver. Always slow down before topping a hill so you can stop with short warning. Never pass another car on a hill, even on a multi-lane road, unless you are on a highway with a dividing center strip. Decrease your speed at the crest of the hill and drive at a speed which will permit you to stop well within your sight distance in case of emergency. Once over the hill crest on the downgrade, your stopping distance increases, even if you do not increase your speed because of the added gravitational pull. Drive as if your life depends on it. It does. Here is good advice for the cross-country motorist. Although it may seem a kind act, it is not a wise act to pick up hitchhikers indiscriminately.
We interrupt this program with the following warning. Be on the lookout for a man dressed in blue work clothes last seen on Highway 101. He's an escaped inmate of the State Institute of Correction and may be dangerous.
Besides the possible danger in picking up total strangers on the road, the driver of the car, in case of an accident in which the hitchhiker is injured, faces another problem. He may have a lawsuit lodged against him by his passenger and be held legally liable. Alcohol in all forms is a depressant. It decreases the alertness and efficiency of any person. It impairs his judgment and his vision, slows his reaction time, and makes him overconfident. Anyone who has used alcohol should definitely not drive a car. If a driver has been drinking, he should let someone else take the wheel, or he should call a taxi or wait until all effects of the alcohol have disappeared. One of the most hazardous offenses is that of driving under the influence of an alcoholic beverage. Alcohol is absorbed very quickly into the blood and is easily detected. Alcohol and driving do not mix. Studies have shown that a person with only 1/7 of 1% concentration of alcohol in his blood is 30 times more likely to have a collision than a non-drinker. If you drink, do not drive. Speeding is the #1 killer on our nation's roads. More men, women, and children have been killed on American highways than in all the wars of our country's history. The basic speed rule is that you must always drive at a reasonable and safe speed. In addition, some states post signs along the roads with maximum speed limits which must not be exceeded. Different speed limits are usually in force in residential and business districts, and in special zones like schools, parks, and bridges. They are established for maximum safety and must always be observed. Safe speeds are determined by many things such as weather, traffic, and the state of the road. Choose your speed to fit conditions. Remember, at 20 miles per hour, the odds of a collision being fatal is 1 in 1,000. At 75 miles per hour, it is 1 in 2. When you come to a school bus that is stopped to let children on or off the bus, you must make a complete stop whether you're coming from the opposite direction or traveling in the same direction as the school bus. You must remain stopped as long as the school bus displays its flashing warning lights. Exceptions are these. If you're driving on a highway which has separate roadways divided by a center zone, you need not stop for a school bus which is halted on the other roadway, but you should exercise special caution. You need not stop when meeting a school bus when the latter is stopped at an intersection or other place where traffic is controlled and the signals permit you to proceed. In all other cases, you must stop for a stationary school bus displaying flashing red lights, and when you proceed, drive extra carefully. When you are stopped for a red light, wait until the green light comes on. Then look before you start. Don't be a signal jumper. Easing or jumping your car ahead into the intersection on the yellow light can cause serious collisions. The yellow light warns the driver that the traffic light colors are about to change. It means clear the intersection. When you see this light, you should slow down and stop your car, if you can do so without danger to other cars behind you. Then wait for the green light before starting your car again. If you jump the signal before it's green and a car driving across your street in the intersection cannot stop on the yellow light, you may be involved in a bad collision. The signal jumper doesn't get the jump on other cars. He usually jumps into trouble. While speeding is a dangerous driving practice, failing to keep pace with the general flow of traffic and driving at too slow a speed creates driving hazards fully as dangerous by increasing the overtaking and passing. This is especially true on expressways and other high-speed traffic arteries. If you lag behind the normal traffic stream, you hold up the drivers behind you and tempt them to overtake you, even though it may not be entirely safe to do so. The road is not yours alone. Consider your fellow drivers. Any vehicle on a roadway going slower than the prevailing speed must be driven as close to the right as is practicable. Keep pace with the traffic or drive close to the right road edge and stay out of the fast lanes. Make your motoring enjoyable for yourself and the other drivers by driving intelligently. The courteous driver is usually the one that avoids collisions over all others. A well-adjusted, mature person makes a good driver because he realizes that driving calls for courtesy and fair play at all times. He drives not only from his own point of view, but shows consideration for the other drivers. When the courteous driver sees a car waiting to come out from a driveway or side street, or an oncoming car waiting to make a left turn in front of him, he allows him to proceed instead of causing him to hold up traffic behind him. The top-notch driver shows self-control, foresight, and good sportsmanship even when caught in a frustrating traffic jam. He resists the temptation to use his horn uselessly. He does not try to force his way into a seemingly faster lane, but waits until the traffic jam is alleviated. A safe driver is alert, careful, and courteous. When driving in built-up areas, your immediate danger zones extend to the sides, and you should choose your speed accordingly. always being sure of your stopping distance and never overdriving it. Someone may suddenly walk or drive into your path. If cars are parked in your side danger zones, reduce speed and show extra care. Pedestrians stepping out into the street from behind parked cars or children running out while playing create special driving hazards. Drive with as much room between your car and any cars parked along the street as is practicable and proper. Some imprudent driver may open the left-hand door to get out without first checking to see if it's safe, or pull out from the curb without signaling. Show good judgment. Decrease speed when side danger zones exist. Fatigue can cause collisions. The overtired driver is less alert. He loses his sound judgment, his reaction time is slowed down, and he may even doze at the wheel. Collisions are almost sure to follow. When they happen because a driver is asleep at the wheel, they are generally very serious. Don't drive when you're fatigued. If you're alone, stop and rest. If possible, turn the wheel over to someone else. The odds for a collision increase as the driver begins to get fatigued. Don't drive too long a stretch without rest. To help offset drowsiness, keep plenty of fresh air in the car. Engage in conversation or listen to the radio and drink coffee or strong tea. Stop occasionally and get out and walk around. Even a good driver gets tired, and a good driver doesn't take chances. Many urban streets have streetcar or railroad tracks running down the center of the roadway used by motor vehicles. Avoid driving on these tracks. Always drive over them, straddling them. They're slippery, especially when they're a little wet, and they may cause you to skid. If you do go into a skid, steer slightly in the direction in which the rear end of your car is skidding. But do not apply the brakes. This might increase your skid. And don't oversteer, just enough to get off the tracks. If you must cross streetcar or railroad tracks running in the same direction in which you're driving, slow down and make your signal, and then cross the tracks at a wide angle. Always drive extra carefully when the street upon which you are traveling presents special hazards. If your car wheels get stuck in mud, deep snow, or sand, you may get it out by rocking it. To rock the car, go slowly forward in low gear as far as you can, then shift quickly to reverse and back up until the wheels just start to spin. Repeat these shifts rapidly several times, rocking back and forth, and using a minimum of power to keep the wheels from spinning. Each successive rock should bring the car a little further out of the hole it's in until you're free. If the wheels merely spin, stop rocking. You may have to dig out in front of the mired wheels and find something in which to create traction under them, such as branches, stones, or even burlap. The rocking operation is often successful, but it's still better not to get into a position to get stuck in the first place.